The strange voice, the ship floated in the endless black of space. Stars burned like tiny cold fires in the distance, but inside the ship, silence ruled. Only the low hum of broken engines and the flicker of red warning lights gave proof that life still clung to this metal coffin. Ethan sat in the pilot's chair. His eyes were heavy, but his mind refused to rest. The oxygen level was falling. The power was weak and rescue was far away. He had been drifting for 3 days. His food was almost gone. His only company was the sound of static whispering through the radio. He leaned forward, twisting the knobs on the control panel, hoping to catch a signal. For hours, he heard nothing but noise, crackling, empty, dead. Then something changed. The static shifted. A strange pulse cut through the silence, and then a voice. "Do you remember me, human?" Ethan froze. His hands gripped the chair, his heart beating fast. The voice was not normal. It was low, rough, filled with something alien. Yet hidden inside, he heard something familiar. He leaned closer to the radio. What did you say?" he whispered, almost afraid to hear the answer. The voice came again, stronger, echoing through the small cabin. "We grew up in the same orphanage." Ethan's blood turned cold. His stomach twisted. That word, orphanage. He had not heard it spoken in years. Memories he had buried deep began to rise like ghosts crawling out of the dark. He saw it in his mind again. The gray stone building, the long cold halls, the smell of old food, and the sound of children crying in the night. The orphanage was no place of warmth. It was survival. But there had been one light in those dark days. A friend, a boy with strange eyes, always quiet, always hiding. Ethan had shared bread with him when others stole it. They had whispered dreams to each other under broken blankets. Ethan's chest tightened. Could it be him? He pressed the radio button, his voice shaking. "Who are you?" The reply came slow and heavy. "You knew me once. You protected me. You called me brother." Ethan's mind raced. He remembered those eyes, bright, almost glowing, not like other children's. He remembered strange marks on his skin, the way he was stronger, faster. Ethan had thought he was just different, but human, always human. Now, in the dark of space, the truth clawed its way into Ethan's mind. His friend was not human at all. Ethan swallowed hard, his throat dry. "That's impossible," he said, but his voice betrayed his fear. The alien voice replied, calm yet sharp, like a blade cutting into memory. "Nothing is impossible, human. You have forgotten me, but I never forgot you." Ethan felt sweat on his forehead. He checked his radar. At first, there was nothing, only silence. Then a faint blip appeared on the edge of the screen. Something was out there. Something was moving closer. He turned off the cabin lights, his instincts screaming. His ship was weak, powerless. If it was an enemy, he could not fight. The radio hissed again. "I found you after all these years. Alone, broken, just like before. But do not fear. I remember what you did for me. You are not my enemy. You are my brother." Ethan stared into the dark window of space, searching for the source. His heart raced faster with each word. His childhood, his past, his survival, all of it was tied to this strange voice. But how? How could an alien share his past? How could it know the orphanage? How could it remember what only he and one boy had lived through? The voice spoke again, softer now, almost sad. "They took me away. Do you remember the night I disappeared? You searched for me. You called my name. But I was gone. They came for me because I was not like you." Ethan's breath caught. He remembered. He remembered the night his friend vanished. The bed was empty. The blanket was cold. No one had told him why. The caretaker said nothing. The other children whispered that he had run away. But Ethan had never believed it. Now, after all these years, the truth had returned to him. His friend had been taken, and now he was back. The radar beeped louder. The blip was closer. Ethan's voice shook as he whispered into the radio. "What do you want from me?" The alien paused before answering, and then, with a voice that carried both promise and threat, it said, "I want you to remember, human, because soon you will have to choose." The signal cut to static. The radar beep grew faster. Outside the window, a shadow moved in the dark. Massive, silent, approaching. Ethan's world had just changed forever. Memories of the orphanage. The shadow outside the window stayed, silent and huge. Ethan could not take his eyes off it, but the words from the radio kept echoing inside his head. We grew up in the same orphanage. The orphanage. Ethan closed his eyes, and memory dragged him back to a time he had tried so hard to bury. He was 8 years old again, standing in the gray hallway of Stonefield Orphanage. The building smelled of dust and old bread. The walls were cracked and the windows were covered with frost. It was always cold inside, even in summer. Children's voices filled the place, sometimes laughter, but mostly crying or angry shouting. Food was rare, blankets were thin, and kindness was even thinner. Survival was the rule. Every day, Ethan had to fight for his piece of bread, for his spot near the heater, for a place to sleep where the bigger kids would not kick him away. But he had not been alone. In the shadows, there was always him, a boy with strange, bright eyes. They glowed faintly, like light reflecting off glass. His skin was pale, almost too pale, and his hair was darker than night. He never joined the other children in their games or fights. He stayed apart, silent, watching. The others called him names. They said he was cursed. They pushed him, hit him, tried to scare him away. But Ethan had sat with him. Ethan had shared bread with him when he was too hungry to move. Ethan had told him stories when the nights were too long. They had become brothers, not by blood but by choice. Ethan remembered one winter night more clearly than all the rest. The snow outside had piled against the windows. The wind screamed like a dying animal. The caretakers had locked the doors and the children were huddled together in the main hall. That night the strange boy whispered to Ethan, "Why do you help me? The others hate me." Ethan had shrugged, shivering under his thin blanket. "Because you're alone. And I'm alone too. Alone people should stick together." The boy had smiled then, his only real smile. Ethan had never forgotten it. But the smile had not lasted long. The boy's secrets had not stayed hidden. Ethan remembered the day he saw the boy lift a broken metal bed frame with one hand. The other children screamed. The caretakers dragged him away and locked him in a room for days. When he came back, his eyes seemed brighter. His skin looked marked, like faint lines glowing under the surface. Ethan asked him what was happening, but the boy only whispered, "I don't belong here." Then came the night. The night he disappeared. Ethan remembered waking in the dark to the sound of boots in the hallway. He had peeked through the cracks in the dormitory door. Men in black uniforms walked quickly, carrying strange devices that hummed with blue light. They entered the boy's room. Ethan wanted to shout, wanted to run, but his body froze. Minutes later, they carried him out. The boy was silent, his eyes glowing brighter than ever. For a moment, he looked back straight at Ethan as if saying goodbye without words. Then they were gone. Ethan had searched for him after that, day after day. He had asked the caretakers where his friend went, but they only said, "Forget him. He was never here." The other children whispered that he had run away, that he was dead, that the curse had taken him. But Ethan never believed it. Deep inside, he had always known something greater had happened. Something dark, something hidden. Now, in the cold silence of space, with the shadow of an alien ship outside his window, the truth pressed down on him. His friend had not been human. The voice on the radio was not a lie. It was real. The boy he had once called brother was alive. Alive, but not human. Ethan's stomach twisted with fear and with something else. Grief. All these years he had tried to forget, but the past had not forgotten him. The radio hissed again as if the universe itself wanted to drag him deeper into the memory. The alien voice returned, softer now. "You see it, don't you, human? You remember. The nights we shared, the bread you gave me, the stories you told. You were the only one who did not hate me, the only one who did not fear me." Ethan's hand shook. His lips trembled, but no words came. The voice grew darker. "And now you must face what they hid from you. The truth about that place. The truth about why I was there." The radar beeped louder. The shadow outside the ship was closer now, almost blocking the stars. Ethan's heart pounded in his chest. The orphanage was not just a home for lost children. It had been something else, a cage. A test, and Ethan was about to learn why. The shadow outside the ship grew larger. It blocked the starlight, spreading across Ethan's window like a storm cloud swallowing the sky. The radar screamed faster, each beep echoing through the cabin like a heartbeat out of control. Ethan gripped the armrests of his chair. His breath came sharp and shallow. He had seen alien ships before, on news screens and military briefings and battle reports, but never this close. Never in the silent, helpless dark of space. The radio hissed again. "Do not fear, human," the voice said, calm, steady, too steady. "I am close now. I want you to see me, truly see me." Ethan wanted to turn off the radio, to shut the voice out, but he couldn't. His body refused to move. His mind screamed that he should run, but there was nowhere to run. His ship was broken. His life was trapped inside this box of metal. He watched as lights appeared on the shadow. At first, small dots like stars coming alive on its surface. Then, long lines of pale blue light, stretching across a body of metal far larger than his ship. The alien craft unfolded before him, its structure like a black wing stretching endlessly into the void. It was not built like a human ship. There were no windows, no numbers, no symbols. Its shape was alive, almost organic, like a giant creature wearing armor. Ethan swallowed hard. "God," he whispered. The radio crackled. "Do you recognize me now?" Ethan's hands shook. He forced himself to speak. "I recognize nothing. Show yourself. Stop hiding behind shadows." For a moment, only silence answered. Then the blue light shifted. A panel in the side of the alien ship opened, glowing with cold white fire. A smaller craft separated from the main body, gliding like a predator. Its design was smooth, curved, sharp at the edges. It moved without sound, without heat, without warning. It came straight toward Ethan's broken vessel. Alarms screamed inside his cabin. His failing ship shook under the pull of the alien's magnetic grip. The smaller craft attached itself to the hull with a metallic thud. Then, the sound Ethan had been dreading. A knock. 3 slow knocks. Heavy. Cold. Not from inside his head. Not from memory. Real. Right there on the outer airlock door. Ethan's throat dried. He unstrapped himself from the chair and floated closer, his movements shaky. He stared at the airlock as if it were the mouth of some monster about to swallow him. The intercom sparked alive. "Do not be afraid," the voice said again, softer this time, almost human. "I only wish to see you." After all these years, the airlock lights turned green. The hatch opened with a hiss. Ethan raised his arm as if to shield himself, and then he saw him. The figure stepped inside slowly, like a shadow peeling away from the darkness. He was tall, far taller than Ethan remembered. His body was wrapped in armor that seemed to grow from his skin, black metal with faint glowing lines running across it. His face was partly hidden under a mask, but the eyes— Ethan's breath caught. The eyes were the same, bright, glass-like, glowing with an otherworldly light. The eyes of the boy he had once shared bread with in the orphanage. Ethan's voice broke as he whispered, "It's you." The alien tilted his head, and for the first time Ethan saw something almost like a smile. "You remember?" Ethan shook his head in disbelief. This can't be real. You were just a boy. You were different," the alien finished. His voice was deep, layered, carrying an echo that was not human. "And because of that, they took me away. But not before you. Not before you showed me kindness." I never forgot. Ethan's chest tightened. Memories crashed inside him. Sharing food, whispered stories, the last look before the men in black dragged his friend away. Now those same eyes stared back at him, set in the face of something both familiar and terrifying. Ethan took a step back. "What are you now?" The alien's voice grew heavier. "What I always was. Not human. But not your enemy. Not unless you choose it." The words sank into the silence between them. Ethan felt both fear and strange warmth in his chest. The boy he had once saved was standing before him again. No longer a boy. No longer human. But something vast and powerful. The alien leaned closer, his glowing eyes sharp. "You are alive because of me, Ethan. When I heard your signal, I came. Because you are still my brother." Ethan's hands trembled at his sides. He wanted to believe. But the weight of war, the stories of alien attacks, the faces of human soldiers lost, all of it screamed at him not to trust. Still, his voice came out as a whisper. "Why now? After all this time?" The alien's gaze grew darker. "Because the war has come here, and soon you must decide who you truly are." The cabin shook again as the alien ship outside shifted its position, blocking the stars completely. Ethan felt swallowed by the darkness, and for the first time he wondered if his oldest friend had returned to save him. Or to claim him, The cabin was too small for the weight inside it. Ethan stood frozen near the airlock, his breath fogging the glass visor of his helmet. Across from him, the alien, his childhood friend and yet not, filled the space with quiet power. The glowing lines on his armor pulsed like a heartbeat, steady and calm, while Ethan's own chest raced like a drum. For a long moment, neither spoke. Only the soft hum of the alien's suit and the distant groan of the ship broke the silence. Finally, Ethan found his voice. "Why are you here? What do you want from me?" The alien tilted his head, those strange bright eyes glowing in the dim light. "I want nothing from you, Ethan. I came because I heard your signal. I came because you saved me once. When no one else would." Ethan's throat tightened. He remembered those nights in the orphanage. The stolen bread, the whispered stories, the warmth of two boys against the cold of the world. He remembered calling him brother. But now here he was, a soldier from the enemy side. Ethan's voice cracked. Your people are at war with mine. How many of us have they killed? How many ships have they burned? And now you appear, expecting me to forget all of that?" The alien did not move. His voice remained steady, but there was pain under it. "I did not start this war. My people fight because your leaders demanded it, because they feared what they did not understand. You think I wanted this?" Ethan shook his head, backing a step closer to the control panel. His hands trembled, ready to hit the emergency beacon if he had to. "You're part of them now, one of the enemy. Don't try to dress it up with old memories." The alien's eyes narrowed, but he did not lash out. Instead, he took one slow step closer. His height forced Ethan to tilt his head back just to meet his gaze. "Do you think I forgot the way they treated me?" the alien asked, his voice low and heavy. "The caretakers locking me away. The children throwing stones. The way they whispered that I was cursed. I would have died there, Ethan, alone, forgotten, but you saw me as more. You shared your bread. You gave me a name. You called me brother." Ethan's heart twisted. A part of him wanted to believe, wanted to hold on to the boy he had once known. But another part, the soldier, the survivor, could not let go of the danger standing before him. He forced his words out like blades. "That was years ago. We were children. Things are different now." The alien's armor glowed faintly as his voice deepened. "Not everything is different. I still remember the boy who stood up for me when no one else did. And that boy is standing before me now, even if he does not want to admit it." The cabin shook. A new sound cut through the tension, the sharp ping of Ethan's radar. He turned to see another blip on the screen. Then another. Human ships. Approaching fast, Ethan's stomach dropped. His rescue, or his death? The alien's gaze shifted to the radar. "Your people are coming," he said quietly. "They will not see me as your friend. They will not listen to you. They will only fire." Ethan's chest tightened. He could almost see it. The chaos, the gunfire, his own ship ripped apart between two sides. The alien's voice dropped, almost a whisper. "I can protect you, but if I do, your people will call you a traitor. If I let them take you, they will call me a monster. Either way, blood will spill." Ethan's hand hovered over the emergency beacon, his pulse pounding in his ears. The alien leaned closer, his voice softer now, carrying the echo of the boy Ethan once knew. "Choose, Ethan. Choose between a past that was real and a war built on lies. Choose between me and them." The radar screamed louder. The human ships were almost here. The cabin lights flickered. The alien's shadow fell across Ethan like a storm, and Ethan realized the truth. No matter what he chose, someone he called brother was going to die. The radar screamed like an alarm bell, but Ethan barely heard it. His mind was drowning in the alien's words. "Choose between me and them." The weight of choice pressed down on him like the walls of space itself. Then, the alien stepped back, his glowing eyes fixed on Ethan, and spoke with a voice that carried both sorrow and truth. "You want answers. You deserve them." The orphanage was never a home, Ethan. It was a cage, a place of testing. Ethan froze. His lips parted, but no words came. The alien continued, each word heavy. "Do you think it was chance that I was there? That I was placed among you? No, your leaders put me there. They wanted to see if one of my kind could live among humans. If I could blend. If I could be controlled." Ethan's breath caught. His childhood memories twisted into something darker. He remembered the strange questions the caretakers asked. He remembered how often they watched, wrote in notebooks, whispered when they thought the children could not hear. His voice shook. That's not true. It can't be. We were just kids. Abandoned kids. The alien's gaze hardened. Were you? Or were you chosen? Tell me, Ethan. Do you remember how often soldiers came to the orphanage? How often strange men walked the halls? That was not charity. That was surveillance. Images flashed in Ethan's mind. Men in dark coats, their boots heavy on the floor, their cold eyes scanning the children. He had thought they were donors, visitors, maybe officials, but now? His chest tightened. No, that's impossible. The alien stepped closer, his voice rising. It is the truth. They studied us. They fed us scraps not because of poverty, but to see how we would survive. They wanted to measure human cruelty against human kindness. You think you saved me with your bread? No, Ethan. They wanted to see if you would. The words hit like a knife. Ethan staggered back, pressing against the cold metal wall of his cabin. His childhood, the pain, the hunger, the small sparks of hope, it had all been part of a game played by men in the shadows. His voice cracked. Why me? Why put me there with you? The alien's eyes glowed brighter, sadness in their light. Because you were like me. Not in blood, but in spirit. Alone. Forgotten. They wanted to see if loneliness could bind two different worlds together. They wanted to see if brotherhood could be stronger than fear. Ethan shook his head violently. No, I don't believe you. My parents, they died. I was left there because there was no one else. Are you sure? The alien cut in sharply. Did you ever see proof? Or did they just tell you? They told me lies too, Ethan. Lies to keep us in cages. Ethan's knees felt weak. His memories no longer felt solid. His past no longer felt like his own. The building, the caretakers, the missing boy. All of it blurred into something monstrous, designed and cruel. The alien's voice softened, almost breaking. I remember the night they took me. The men in black. The humming machines. They told me I was dangerous, that I must be removed. But before they dragged me away, I looked at you. I hoped you would see the truth. But you were only a child. How could you know? Ethan closed his eyes and the memory returned with painful clarity. The boy's glowing eyes staring at him one last time through the crack in the dormitory door. The silent goodbye. The truth buried in darkness. His hands shook as he whispered, all those years, I thought you ran away. I thought you left me. The alien's expression hardened into something fierce. No, Ethan, they stole me. They turned me into what I am now. A weapon, a soldier. But you were their other test. You were the control, the human child who showed kindness. They wanted to know if it was real, or if it could be broken. Ethan's stomach twisted. The air in the cabin felt heavy, poisonous. His life, his memories, his identity, they had all been part of an experiment. The radar beeped faster. The human ships were almost here. Ethan looked at the screen, then back at his old friend. His voice was raw. If what you say is true, then they lied to me too. They lied to both of us. But that doesn't change the war. That doesn't change the blood. The alien's glowing eyes burned with both rage and sorrow. No, it doesn't, but it changes the truth. And the truth, Ethan, will decide where you stand. The cabin shook as the first human ship locked onto them with targeting systems. The red lights bathed Ethan's face, flashing like a warning heartbeat. He had wanted rescue. Now rescue had become a death sentence, and the only one who could save him was the friend who might also destroy him. Red lights flashed inside the cabin. The radar screamed with warning. Human ships were closing in, fast and armed. Ethan's broken vessel rattled under the pull of their scanners. His hands hovered over the controls, useless against failing engines. The alien stood tall, calm against the storm. His glowing eyes never left Ethan's face. They are almost here, the alien said, voice steady, even as the ship trembled. And when they arrive, they will not ask questions. They will fire. At me, at you, at both of us. Ethan's heart pounded like thunder in his chest. He could already imagine the blast tearing through the cabin, ripping him apart. He could imagine the headlines, alien destroyed. Human casualty acceptable. His throat was dry when he whispered, they'll see me. They'll know I'm human. They'll save me. The alien shook his head slowly. No, Ethan, they will not risk it. They will not stop to ask why I am here. They will erase everything with fire. That is the way of war. Ethan's hands curled into fists. His mind screamed for a choice, but both paths were death. His people or his friend? Humanity or the only brother he ever had? The alien took a step forward, lowering his voice. I can protect you. My ship can shield you from their weapons. But if I do, your people will see you stand with me. They will call you traitor, a human who chose the enemy. Ethan's chest burned. The word traitor stabbed deep, twisting like a knife. He had sworn his life to the fleet. He had worn their uniform, carried their flag. Could he throw that away? The alien's voice pressed harder, sharp but filled with sorrow. Or you can refuse me. You can call for them. You can let them destroy me. Then you will return to them as a hero. But know this. If you make that choice, the brother you once saved will die before your eyes. Ethan felt the walls closing in. Every breath came shorter, harsher. His past and present crashed together like two stars on the edge of destruction. The radio crackled suddenly, a new voice breaking through. This is Captain Rourke of the 7th Fleet. Ethan Carter, respond immediately. We see your vessel. Are you alone? Confirm now. Ethan's stomach twisted. His commanding officer. His people. His chance at rescue. He reached for the radio, but the alien's hand moved fast, pressing the button down before he could speak. The alien's glowing eyes locked onto him. Think before you answer, he warned. Ethan yanked his hand back. You can't silence me forever. I don't need forever, the alien said. I only need your choice. The radio voice grew sharper, urgent. Ethan Carter, identify. If you are being held, give the code. If you are compromised, we will act. Ethan's heart hammered against his ribs. His mouth opened, but no words came. He felt torn in two, his uniform pulling him one way, his memories pulling him another. The alien leaned closer, his voice softer now, filled with something almost human. When we were children, you gave me bread when you had none. You shielded me when they threw stones. You did not care that I was different. That was real, Ethan, that was truth. Do not let them take it from you. Ethan's eyes burned. His hands trembled over the radio. The flashing red lights painted the cabin like blood. Captain Rourke, the radio demanded again. Confirm. Are you alone? Ethan's lips parted. A single word could decide everything. The alien whispered, almost pleading. Brother. The cabin shook violently. The human ships had locked weapons. Any second, fire would fall. Ethan's mind raced. If he chose the fleet, he would live, but his only friend would die. If he chose the alien, he would survive, but humanity would call him enemy. The truth was cruel. There was no safe choice. Only loyalty. Only betrayal. His throat tightened as he whispered into the radio. But the words caught. His heart screamed against his mind. The alien's voice was firm now. Say it, Ethan, who are you loyal to? The radar shrieked. The first missile left a human ship, streaking through the void. Time was gone. Ethan's hand slammed down on the radio. His voice cracked, raw and desperate. I am... The transmission cut in a blast of static as the missile drew near. The cabin exploded with light. The missile streaked through the void, a burning spear against the black. Ethan's broken ship rattled violently, warning lights flashing red across the cabin. He braced himself for fire, for the end, for silence. But the impact never came. A blinding blue shield spread across the hull, humming with alien power. The explosion burst against it, flames scattering like sparks on water. Ethan stumbled, covering his eyes. When the light faded, the shield still held, shimmering like glass made of stars. Ethan looked up. His friend, his alien brother, stood tall, his armor glowing brighter now, pulsing with energy. I told you, the alien said, voice calm but heavy. I can protect you, but protection comes with a price. Ethan's chest burned. His people had fired on him without warning. The fleet's voice screamed through the radio. Target compromised. He is shielded by alien tech. Open fire again. Another missile launched. Then another. The radar shrieked with death. Ethan slammed his hand against the panel. No, stop! I'm here. I'm still here. But no one listened. The fleet only saw the shield, the alien presence, the threat. The alien turned his gaze to Ethan, his glowing eyes filled with sorrow. Do you see now? To them, you are already guilty. They will not stop. They will not believe. Ethan's voice cracked. They're my people, my crew. I can't turn against them. The alien's voice was softer, almost breaking. And I cannot turn against you. That is why I am here. That is why I saved you. The second wave of missiles struck the shield. The cabin shook, sparks flying from broken panels. The oxygen alarm screamed. The shield dimmed but held. Ethan fell to his knees, clutching the edge of the chair. His heart was a storm. His mind was fire. His memories tore him in two. The orphanage nights, the boy he called brother, and the flag he swore to serve. The alien crouched down, his voice a whisper. Ethan, look at me. Remember who you are. Remember who we were, choose. Ethan's vision blurred with tears. His hands trembled. His lips opened, but the words refused to come. The radio cut through again. Captain Rourke's voice was sharp, furious. Carter, you have one chance. Break away from that thing or we will erase you with it. Do you understand? One chance? Ethan stared at the flashing radio. One chance. A final command. Then he looked at the alien, the boy grown into something beyond human. The boy who had once whispered in the dark, alone people should stick together. Another volley of fire streaked toward them. The shield trembled, fading fast. Ethan's decision rose inside him like a scream. He slammed his hand onto the controls. His voice tore out, raw and final. I choose. Ending option A. The shocking twist. Closed ending. The alien ship roared to life. Energy surged through its armor, the shield exploding outward in a wave of force. The human missiles disintegrated in the blast, their light swallowed by the void. Ethan stood, his eyes burning with fury. He grabbed the radio, shouting into the static. I choose him. Do you hear me? He's my brother. The fleet's reply came only in fire. Dozens of missiles filled the void, descending like a storm. The alien's hand pressed to Ethan's shoulder. Then we faced them together. The last thing Ethan saw was the blinding flash of the alien ship unleashing its full power, before the world drowned in fire and light. Silence followed. No wreckage. No trace. Only the whisper of a forgotten bond between two lost children. Ending option B. The cliffhanger. Open ending. The alien ship roared alive, but Ethan's hand froze over the radio. His voice cracked as he shouted, Wait! Stop firing! The missile wave struck before he could finish. The shield shattered in a storm of sparks. The cabin filled with white light. Ethan's scream was cut short. Then, silence. Darkness. Only the faint echo of a voice remained in the void. Do you remember me, human? You were the only one who did. The screen faded to black.